The sails of the 18th century kept the empire in the wind, and by 2025, giant container ships and autonomous drones are linking the planet into a single trading network. The history of the ship is a story of power, technology, and economics that changed the world map with each new deck and each new engine. The ships of the 1800s were wooden schooners, brigs, and clippers born in the age of wind and sail. They fed empires, transported slaves, spices, coal, and ideas. The oak frame, the rigging of thousands of ropes, the multi-shift crew that worked according to the tact of the wind that was man-made and for man. The copper lining of the bottom protected against worms, and navigation was based on a sextant, a pilot, and the experience of the captain. By the middle of the century, the Industrial Revolution had replaced rotors and steam engines, first paddle wheels, then screw propellers. The first hybrid ships appeared, where steam and sails worked in combination. This changed the operational independence of the fleet. Now the route and speed no longer depend solely on the weather. The appearance of iron in the structure gave new strength and allowed to increase tonnage. Iron and then steel hulls made possible new forms of battleships with cannons, steam clippers, and industrial-scale cargo barges. The logistics of the 1800s consisted of a network of ports and shipyards, the printing of merchant contracts, dashing privateers, and columns of merchants. The ocean became the road along which capital traveled. By the end of the 19th and beginning of the 20th century, shipbuilding had become mass-produced. Dreadnoughts, battleships, and cruisers are symbols of national power. Steel decks, Parsons turbines, boilers, coal, and then oil fuel depots. The naval battles of the First World War showed that fire systems and radio communications are changing the rules of warfare, and thanks to the Suez and Panama Canals, the world has shrunk. In peacetime, the commercial fleet developed. Cargo ships grew in tonnage, passenger liners became palaces on the water, transatlantic flights connected continents. Navigation switched to radio signals and later to satellite, and GPS led to accuracy that old-school captains could only dream of. The Second World War demonstrated the new role of ships. Aircraft carriers replaced battleships as key carriers of power. Submarines and convoys decided the outcome of naval campaigns. Shipbuilding accelerated, metal and welding became the norm, and unification standards allowed for mass production. After the war, there was a massive switch to diesel and then to gas turbine installations, to nuclear power for submarines and aircraft carriers, which gave completely new operational capabilities, a continuous autonomy, and speed of deployment. The Cold War gave birth to ballistic missile submarines and specialized support vessels. Surface ships integrated radar and air defense systems, and maritime logistics became global and continuous. The economy of the second half of the 20th century shaped the modern picture. Containerization, proposed by Malcolm McLean and Maersk, revolutionized trade. Container ships have grown to giants with thousands of toys. Terminals have become automated hubs. Global supplies have become stable and predictable. Industries have optimized supply chains, and global trade has accelerated along an exponential curve. At the same time, the price is the environmental impact. Fuel oil engines, mass consumption, pollution, and oil spills. The International Maritime Organization (IMO) and regulators have introduced emission standards. Ships have been equipped with cleaners, filters, and switching to LNG and hybrid schemes. Alternatives have also emerged to wind protection using rotary systems and kite associations, energy-saving contours, and the use of batteries in short routes. By the beginning of the 21st century, the ship had ceased to be just a platform for cargo or weapons. It had become an integrated infrastructure. Ports have been automated. Crane parking lots, autonomous terminals, and digital cargo tracking platforms. Supply chains have become transparent. Blockchain, IoT sensors, digital ship twins, and predictive maintenance, and the ship reports on the condition of equipment in real time. Repairs are planned in advance. Windows are cut in the repair schedule so as not to stop the supply chain. Crews have been reduced. The fleet is managed by monitoring centers dealing with cybersecurity, logistics, and regulatory requirements. Smart ships have appeared, capable of operating routes in semi-autonomous mode, integrated with coastal systems and portal eco networks. Between 1800 and 2025, the role of navigation changed, from sextant and stars to GNSS and automatic pilots. Materials have changed, from oak to ultramarine composites and corrosion-resistant steel. Ergonomics have changed, from a crew of dozens to a team of units capable of controlling hundreds of human substituting systems. The design logic has changed. The vessel now includes not only tonnage and range, but also carbon footprint, life cycle economics, and digital compatibility. Military doctrine has also evolved. Instead of front-line assaults, it is a projection of force through aircraft carrier groups, naval drones, and coastal missile systems at the same time. Naval operations include cyber attacks and information campaigns. By 2025, there are three critical trends that close the line from the 1800s to the present. The first is decarbonization. IMO regulations, investor pressure, and insurance companies are forcing shipowners to look for low-emission solutions: LNG, ammonia, hydrogen, hybrids, battery systems, wind assist, and speed optimization. The second is automation and autonomy. Experiments with unmanned vessels of level 4 to 5, remote control, port digital ecosystems, and integrated logistics chains. The third is resilience and security. Changing climatic routes: the Northern Sea route becomes a reality during the season, threats of piracy and geopolitical fragmentation, as well as increased requirements for cyber defense and supply chain control. Culturally, the ship has transformed no less. From the romance of sails and sea epics to the pragmatic poetry of containers and high-tech design, the marine profession's captain, boatswain, stoker have changed their profiles. Now they need maintenance engineers, specialists in big data, cybersecurity, and ecology. The memory of old ships lives on in museums, reconstructions, and movies. The image of a sailboat has become a symbol of romance, and the image of a container ship has become a symbol of globalization. The result is obvious. Into centuries, the ship has gone from a living dam downwind to a controlled software package that not only transports, but also forms a climatic, economic, and strategic reality. Sea routes remain the arteries of power, and wealth the means of maintaining them changed. The ship of the 21st century is the result of continuous engineering evolution, social shift, and environmental demands. It carries the legacy of wind and the loom, but is driven by algorithms and a policy of global responsibility. If in the 1800s the sea was the road of empires, then in 2025 the sea is a network without which modern society is impossible.